Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Lofsky. I am the product manager for Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition.
I'm Brad Janes. I'm the Wolfram Alpha Math content manager. And we've both been working on this project for a couple of years, and we've got a lot of exciting things to show to everyone today.
Right, so as the title of our talk suggests, we're here to talk about the newest features that we've added to the Notebook Edition over the past year. In that time, we've made several new additions to the Wolfram function repository in the form of several various math-focused resource functions, many of which are accessible through natural language inputs. Some examples here: oscillating circles to a parametric curve at a given point, which returns lots of nicely condensed information. Can look up information about a sequence of numbers. Can analyze a plot of a curve, look up asymptotes, things of that nature. You can generate a truth table for a logical statement. Similar to the tangent line example above, there's one for the normal line. There's one for showing lots of information about a definite integral and a graphical representation, including you can look up the parity of a function. And yeah, there are several other examples like that.
Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of new content additions, kind of along the same lines of things that we've done in the past few years. And I think the rest are more larger, kind of new kinds of features that we're excited to show off.
Right. We've also made significant updates to Notebook Edition's user interface, which we'll demonstrate right now. So for those of you unfamiliar with the Wolfram Demonstrations project, it's essentially a large archive of thousands of interactive demonstrations made by internal employees as well as external users. Here you can browse through topics, and within each topic there are subtopics containing lots of relevant demonstrations. Now in Notebook Edition, we've added a built-in browser that lets you scroll through, much like the website allows you to. In earlier versions of Notebook Edition, users were only able to access these if they knew the demonstration by name. So for instance, there's this demonstration called 2D Jacobian, which can be interacted with in Notebook Edition. Opens a new window, and as you can see, it's got several manipulable parameters. In 12.3.1, what we've done is to add the ability to look at these demonstrations within the notebook, and they're accessible through the browser here in the dock, this first button. And much like on the website, it's organized the same way. One can scroll through the demonstrations that we have available. So for instance, the 2D Jacobian, it takes a bit of digging, but it's fairly easy to find. Something on this list. There it is. Right. The next thing we've added that we're very excited to talk about is the starting points browser, which is accessible through the second button right next to the browser, the demonstrations browser. Some of our team members have curated a large collection of math and science queries that serve as a glimpse of what's possible in Notebook Edition. So here, if we open the browser, much like the demonstrations, these are organized by topics. And within each topic, users can select from a variety of notebooks containing lots of examples. Most of this content is geared towards high school and undergraduate level students of math and science. So here's one example. Most of these notebooks come equipped with basic starter examples. So essentially an introduction on how to, in this case, compute a derivative of a function. So we essentially showcase the various natural language inputs that work in accomplishing that. We also demonstrate several interface features, such as the step-by-step solutions, if they're available, which users can then access and view. We also have examples that demonstrate the ability to refer to previous outputs, or rather inputs that use natural language to refer to other parts of the given input. For instance, plot the square root of x as well as its derivative, and then we return a plot simultaneously plotting both of them. We also have several examples, often with increasing complexity, highlighting landmark features of Notebook Edition, aside from the step-by-step solutions and what we call session references. We also have examples of solving multi-step word problems associated with a given topic. For instance, in this notebook, there is an example about using the linear approximation to a function to approximate the value of, let's see if I can find it. There. Approximating the value of a function at a certain number using the linear approximation to that function at another point close to it. And as you can see, there are several steps associated with determining that. Where applicable, we also include demonstrations relevant to the topic at hand. For instance, here we have the quotient rule for differentiation, as well as a list of what you might call extra credit queries to encourage the user to try replicating what's demonstrated in the notebook for themselves. Beyond that, we also have some non-math topics such as chemistry and physics. Containing mostly the same content, depending on, of course, what's relevant to that topic. And most of these have interactable outputs such as this. And yes, we also have coverage for several topics in physics, some in astronomy, and a few in life sciences. So the idea behind the Starting Points notebooks is that they're to be used as supplementary material to standard lesson plans. And if you have had the chance to see one of our talks, one of our coworkers had the opportunity to show how to use Notebook Edition in a classroom environment, specifically in the context of teaching math and chemistry. This page is loading a bit slowly, but we have the links. We'll have a notebook to share at the end of this with all the participants here, if they'd like to check them out for themselves. Brad?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. So I'm going to chat a little bit about the next two items on the dock here. The third one is the interactive plot quizzes browser. This is a brand new feature from the group that we're debuting in Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition this year. There's multiple interactive manipulable objects that test an individual's understanding about a concrete topic. And so how it works is we generate a random problem and put it out to the user to interact with a plot to provide their answer to that problem. Like the previous two sections, clicking any of these will open up a browser that will let you kind of navigate through. But because this is Notebook Edition, you can just query for these things directly as well. Let me enable dynamics here. And so this is a transformation quiz on quadratics. And what it says is it's asking me to adjust the points on the curve to translate this function in a couple of particular ways. So I can move these points really easily, and you can see the new function. That looks like it's about the right shape. And then there are all sorts of buttons down here to check the answer or not. And it looks like I got 2 of the points correct, but maybe not the 3rd one. So let's try that. And then, oh, that does look correct. Once you get something fully correct, it will show both the original equation and the translated equation. And it's got the point values as well on the sidebar there. You can click on next problem and it will generate a new problem, and you can go from there. Once you've completed several problems, you can print a report. And yeah, we figured these were like really neat ways for students to learn, especially with remote learning taking such an uptick in the past year or two. For more information on these, there's a great talk at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock Central Time, by Jeremy and Anne-Marie. I strongly encourage everyone to check that out. Here's just another little sneak peek of a different kind of interactive plot quiz. So this is asking me to approximate a function by like drawing a scatter plot. And I like these ones, they're kind of fun and sometimes a little tricky. So to kind of give you a better understanding of some statistical analysis, and it gives you your best fit here based on the data that you've plugged in. So I can check my answer and see how close I am. Not very close in that particular case, but yeah, again, go to that talk later today to check out more of these. There's something we're really excited to show off. And the 4th and final new icon up here on the dock is typesetting and special characters, or what is on the website known as math input. You might have seen Stephen talk about this during his keynote the other day. Or you might have seen the Wolfram Alpha website itself has a bit of a facelift. So on the Notebook Edition side, we've tried to do the same thing here. This 4th input will put up a bunch of templates, and you can click on one of them to type in a new expression and evaluate it, and it will, just like vanilla, the regular inputs on Notebook Edition, it still converts it to the equivalent natural language or Wolfram language input. It will still have your related computations and your output predictions and your step-by-step if they're available as well. So yeah, this is something that has been long requested on the website, and we're doing our best to kind of keep parity with Notebook Edition as well. It is a new feature, so we're still obviously working out some of the corner issues and bugs and things. So please give this a try and let us know if you run into any issues, and if there's other things that you would like to see. maybe a larger matrix input. Here we go up to 5 by 5, but if you wanted to see larger ones or different ones, please let us know. We're pretty excited. Let me just do one of these matrix ones real quick, just to show you how quick it is. You can just tab between the entries and go ahead and evaluate right there, get your various different suggestions to do further output from them, just like you would in normal Wolfram Alpha notebook. Well, that's kind of pretty much it. The brand new features that we're showing here on the doc, the demonstrations browser, the starting points browser, the interactive plot quizzes, and then the new typesetting. Again, along with our normal bout of new content additions for all of the above, and bug fixes and corner case things and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of it. We're like Stephen said, we'll kind of upload a evaluated version of the notebook after the talk. Yeah, we're happy with everything that we've been able to do over the past year. We're excited to show you what we come up with over the next year. Because one of the things that we didn't really touch on in the talk is the cloud version. The cloud version is lagging behind just a little bit, but all of the features that you see here either are or will be soon a part of the Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition in cloud. There's a whole array of links here at the bottom of the page. I encourage everyone to check those out. Blog posts, links to the function repository, previous talks from previous years, other talks from this year that you should definitely check out. So yeah, with that, any questions from the group? We'll kind of go through, and Steve and I are also here all day if folks want to meet with us or whatever. Any other closing thoughts, Stephen?
I was just responding to some of the chat messages in the Pathable link.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I'm in complete agreement with Brad. We're definitely excited to continue working on this project, see how it develops in the coming years.
Yeah, the question for statistical functions, there are some statistics, plot quizzes. I kind of showed off the one. Are there things in the starting points?
We have one notebook for data fitting.
Okay.
But beyond that, we don't have anything yet for probability and statistics.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
That is notably one area, even on the Wolfram Alpha website, that we can stand to make a lot of improvements to.
Right.
I know we have a lot of distributions and resources in the Wolfram language itself that we can and should do some work to port over into Alpha. Any other questions or comments? There's a question of preserving states between evaluation. Are you asking about things like session referencing? So there's a few ways to do that. If I say let x equal sine or pi over 2, and then I say sine of x, it will evaluate x as if you are working in a notebook. You can also say, you can refer to the previous input just as you could in Wolfram language, that plus 2. To kind of get things like that. I don't know if that answered the question or not, but
Did you mention some point in the talk that you would be downloading or uploading for us the contents of this talk? It seems like there's a file already available in the files.
Yeah, that was kind of our pre-evaluated talk, and we will we'll share the same notebook, maybe with the things that we evaluated.
Great.
So that you can see that as well.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And then Anton had a question, I think.
Hello, thank you. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize how to use the Zoom system.
That's okay.
Yeah, so when you typed +2, right? So you might have, you obviously there's a parser of numeric word forms, like say, if you say like 2,375, right? Now, is this parser like standalone, right? Is it like a standalone object that can be used outside of Wolfram Alpha, right? Or because I know semantic import can do that, but yeah, so
yeah, there are some queries that will work natively, but yeah, typically the workflow is that it sends a message off to the Wolfram Alpha server, and it will get parsed there and then sent back to your notebook session. So yeah, this does require a internet connection.
Can you misspell 2000? All right, yeah. Very good.
Certain misspellings will maybe get interpreted in different ways, but yeah.
Yeah, right. So is this only working for English? You should have some kind of parsers which are also for other languages. Like the reason I'm asking this, if you take integer name, the function integer name in Mathematica, it can generate names in different languages, right? Like say dozens, you know, and but that's not necessarily, I don't think semantic interpreter, I don't know how to use it for languages except English. Which I think,
let me, there is a, it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. So if we see something that is being asked for a lot, like in this case, the phrase mostrar pasos is step-by-step in, or show steps in Spanish. And we recently did enable a handful of ways to ask for such things. But yeah, typically that's going to be done on the Wolfram Alpha language side. In terms of like getting a fully translated version of Notebook Edition, that would be really neat. It's something that I think we've talked about a little bit, but I'm not sure what the long-term goals are for that.
Yeah, that's very nice. I don't need to talk about myself too much, but because I do conversational agents for computational workflows, sometimes I'm asked, am I a competitor, or am I trying to compete with Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition? Well, no, right? But for me, it's very interesting, this particular part, right? Like say, like multi-language handling first. And, like say numeric word forms, parsing numeric word forms from different languages. It's, I do find it like an interesting problem. The other is that Wolfram Alpha, is it appropriate to ask here questions for the cells? And I don't need to ask any more questions. If some other people asking, I can better.
I think we've got time for one more question.
From me?
Yeah, if you've got, I don't see anyone else raising their hand, so.
The Wolfram Alpha edition, and this is probably a little bit more generic statement, but there's quite a lot of products from Wolfram research, right? So, and like, for example, if I recommend Wolfram Alpha to students, or Wolfram Alpha to, sorry, not Wolfram Alpha, Mathematica, right? To students, what is their access to Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition? Do they get it by
default? That's a good question.
This might be too old.
But yeah, and I think Stephen might have showed this off as well, but you can from I think 12.2 on, or maybe 12.1 on. But certainly any of the newer versions, you can, when you're opening a new notebook, you can go to File, New, and then you can open a Wolfram Alpha style notebook, and that will open something similar to the Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition.
So from a mathematic notebook, you would go to the File menu, New, and then there's a new option for Wolfram Alpha Mode Notebook, which essentially opens another notebook in Mathematica, but with the Notebook Edition of Wolfram Alpha interface. So now basically anything I could do in Notebook Edition within Mathematica.
Do you consider manipulating the notebooks from inside this Wolfram Alpha cells? Like, say, make a new section. If you make a new cell right now and you type in make a new section or make a new subsection, is this going to react to this?
We do not have support for that.
But
you're
you can
asking
use
if,
the keyboard shortcuts to
No,
create new
I know,
sections and things like
but
that.
this kind of, it's like the system is being self-aware, so to speak, right? Or it can manipulate itself, right? It's like it's a to some extent. When I'm asking this, it's also a little bit of design decision or architecture decision question.
Yeah.
So
That's a neat idea. We should look into that. Make a new
yeah,
section.
like for example, this conversational agents I'm talking about when I present in Mathematica, it's just low in my priority list, but I would like to use Mathematica itself to browse to the next slide instead of me, finding buttons or trying to find stuff or whatever it is, And sometimes, especially in presentations, it's a very good idea to automate that because, finding buttons while we're talking about stuff might be a little bit challenging.
Yeah, I agree. Doing controlling things via the notebook, via the natural language interface. I think that's a neat idea. Yeah, we'll definitely discuss that. Well, I think we're just about out of time. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank definitely all the developers who worked on Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition over the past now 2 years since it's been a released product, and I'm actually wearing my Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition release t-shirt today. So 2 years ago, tech conference. So yeah, hope everyone enjoys their last day of the conference. And if you have any other questions or comments or thoughts, please reach out to either Stephen or I, and we'd be happy to talk with you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks.